Hello, everyone, and welcome to the KARDS OCC Clash event. Today, we will present you the quarterfinals. With me here today is the recent KARDS Open winner, Vinny. Hey, Vinny, good to have you here today. I hope you're looking forward to the games today.
Good day, Spooz. Nice matching Secret Lab chair.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Good
This is
taste.
non-sponsored, by the way, so
Yeah, but I would be open to it.
Before we jump into the action, let's take a look what is waiting here for us today. Let's take a look at the bracket. So what we have today here is J King 7 versus Liu and Head versus Known 5 in the upper bracket. And then we have Der Admiral, PyTorch, and Jinlun Berto in the lower bracket. Let's call it like that. It's just one quarterfinal bracket here. Unfortunately, Der Admiral and PyTorch is not being shown today because the Admiral just dropped out, so PyTorch already in the semi-finals. But for today we are starting with J King versus Leo, and I'm really looking forward to that one. J King just in every OCC since it was just introduced into the game. And yeah, for J King mostly it is like dropping in round 1 or winning the whole event. He's the person who won the OCC the most so far. Sure, we have the OCC Clash since February, but I think the structure is the same. It is the season winners top 8 or top 6 and then the qualifiers. So I think we just continue to count the wins from the beginning. And yeah, really looking forward to what is happening here today. So before we jump into the action, let's take a look at the player profiles here so we get a little bit of stats behind the pure names. Starting off with J King, I already mentioned it, 79% win rate. The good thing to see here that even J King is able to lose. He loses 100 matches, but on the other hand just won 378. Most played USA, and I think it was the frontline deck. He also named it 56 game win streak, so I'm quite sure most of the wins came out of that deck there. Although favorite card double strengths, maybe because he's the 2-time world champion and it's a reference to that. Yeah, he's just the staple of the OCC. He has been in every OCC since the introduction of that tournament format. And yeah, he's the one to beat here today.
And then we got Leo, who is rocking a lower but still very respectable win rate of 63.82. Favorite card, the Leo pulled. I gotta think there's some sort of relationship there.
It must be, yeah.
Yeah. And he finished 22nd because of that lower win rate, but he did have to make it through the fire and flames, and he won his way through the qualifier and is here to face J King today. I wonder what he's gonna do it with.
That's a hard one to beat. But on the other hand, Leo kind of with the knowledge advantage, what is maybe coming up in this tournament, since he has to play through the qualifiers, and usually qualifier decks and then the actual OCC decks are kind of similar, and we might see that J King and Leo actually have very similar decks. And speaking about that, let's take a look at them. You can start with J King here.
Sure. So J King, in his lineup, he's bringing Frontline. We see this deck all the time, such a staple of cards, probably always will be. We saw almost 4 out of 4 players just bring it in the Open only last weekend. And this version, pretty standard, looking like the one that he brought to Worlds and won Worlds with. It's got the double Blitzkrieg to try to end games fast. I would say that's the most significant kind of small evolution that we've seen with Frontline. Before, people used to do like sometimes island hopping and research, but hey, why bother trying to win late when we can just close it out with the small blitzing units of US Frontline. Also, there is patrol. We saw a couple patrols running around. I think this patrol is to deal with guards, because again, we're trying to be more lethal than maybe we used to be in the past. So dealing with guards to end the game with Blitzkrieg, and then also to kill maybe any Aichis that we've seen very popular after the buff. Next up, we've got Brit Germany discard. Now, these decks have been spreading like a plague ever since Case Yellow got released. I'm sure you can agree with me, Spooz, on ladder. So much of this type of discard. And enabling this discard is the supply shortage, which, you know, although it's not that very interesting, oh my gosh, do you remember? That wasn't even that long ago. The 2+2 Giga combo, the super duper combo. Yeah, actually, that's what you called it. I remember.
Yeah.
I have almost PTSD from that, the super duper combo. So although it's not the super duper combo anymore, it is still amazing to deal with early aggression. And because of this, you don't even see a single 2-cost card in the deck because, whatever. All I want to do is just mulligan for a supply shortage for the early game anyway, and I'll probably be fine. So look out for the Case Yellows and the Wolf Packs to discard you. Not too many threats overall, but you can just absolutely destroy an opponent's hand and end the game that way. Lastly, another control deck, Germany, Italy. This is almost one of the most classic decks right now, but we have, in the recent months, it's seen waning popularity a little bit. But I still like the deck, and so does J-King, it would look like. We can see, surprisingly, no King Tiger, which I would have expected maybe if he was expecting a lot of control, which we are going to see a lot of control today. But what he is bringing is, again, a lot of discard with the Case Yellow, the Annihilation, Hipper to draw, deny. So it just aims to take down those early aggressions with the removals. And I think, honestly, this deck, in my experience, it's not very good against the super focused, like either Britain main or Britain ally draw denials, because the German control just does not have good draw. So I'm very interested to see what will happen with that one.
Yeah, and it's actually playing more units like the Brit variants. So also Panther G. Maybe I think he submitted a second Panther G for the King Tiger there. Maybe to have a little bit early stats on board where you can play him on Nostrum. So the problem with King Tiger is mostly that you give your opponent the whole turn to just come back maybe, because it's costing 12 credits. And yeah, J-King being a player that wants to control the board and want to have control on their end, probably not really valuing the King Tiger here over Panther G that he can maybe play a little bit around with earlier on. Who knows? I mean, we will see if it works out for J-King here. And let's get to the decks that Leo is bringing. And what do we see here? We also see US-Germany frontline. We also see Brit-Germany discard. Sure, slight variances in both decks, but I think the core is just very, very similar. And the only difference is Leo's third deck here, where he's bringing Soviet, France, let's say control. A deck that plays a lot of guards, has a lot of healing potential, is very annoying to play against when you're playing a very aggressive deck. And yeah, we saw it a lot earlier this year, then it's somehow disappeared in the last OCC and also in the KARDS Open. But now it looks like it's back. I think 2 players are bringing this today, and Leo is one of them. Any additions to that one, Vinny?
I would say the Rima nerf definitely made people want to play this deck less. But one thing that's very interesting is that he's playing 2 Phony War. Now, if the discard really does always find the draw, then he's going to be very sad. But if not, these Phony Wars should really put in huge work against discard, if it's not banned.
Yeah, exactly. Phony War, one of the best cards against any kind of discard, because it just refills your whole hand if it is not hidden by any discard card. And usually, as we also saw in the KARDS Open, discard hits your draw card somehow.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but that's it for the decks, and I think we are already ready to jump into the action. We take a look at the bans. What do you think? What should both players ban from each other?
I think J-King has to ban the Soviet, don't you agree? The Phony Wars look too scary. I'm sure J-King is comfortable playing against frontline. Overall, I would say the Brit version of discard is pretty darn fine against, especially in my experience, I find the standard frontline list to not have a crazy amount of draw. And we actually see the biggest difference, I would say, with Leo's frontline is he had 222 infantries. Those 22 infantries are actually super duper good against discard because one, as we saw, literally no 2-drops in J King's deck. So it's usually going to draw at least 1 or 2 times. And it's just, although it has 1 HP, the Brit discard deck would have to commit a whole supply shortage just to deal with your 122 that already replaced itself. And J King has no 22s, so that is overall a pretty low amount of draw from J King, but a higher amount of draw from Leo. So I guess J King might consider banning the front line, but I think he'll ban France, Soviet France. What do you think Leo is going to ban?
Yeah, I think we already had that point in the cards open, and we all agreed that Britain and Germany, this card is always a good target for ban here, because you don't want to deal with it. It has so much pin, as you said. The supply shortage is so annoying to play against. Who knows? I think I would go for the Britain just because it's just so annoying to play against, and I think Leo should also just target J King's Britain Germany discard deck. But what are the actual bans? Oh,
yes, they don't like the discard.
Both players going for the Brit ban here. Absolutely reasonable choice for both players. And yeah, J King only having access to that German-Italy deck and to that US-Germany, and
okay,
with that US-Germany and that Soviet deck. And he's starting with the Soviet control deck here versus J King's Germany-Italy control. So both decks very control heavy. And we'll see who's having the best outs here, or the best options throughout the game.
Yes, I think that I favor Leo because he's going second against discard. You usually like that. Yeah. And we, again, the phony wars, but Leo is playing some cards that he probably won't get very much value out of, like the Bryansk and the Scorched Earth. But there, look right there. What is that? That is the Spy Ring, and that card carries against these super slow matchups.
Yeah, because depending on what you get out of this, it can be so much potential out of the research, what is ever coming out of that. In that matchup, what do you want to have most if you leave here out of that Spy Ring? Which nation's research?
It depends a little bit what happens. Now, oh, yeah, I was going to say US. I was going to say US unless it's like a pure fatigue battle. Sometimes you might prefer like a U-boat to hit some big threats. But what is the single best card in the game against Soviets? I would say King Tiger. And J King does not have that King Tiger. So yeah, I definitely like the nuke choice.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask. So US research only for the nukes, right? You don't want any of the other options. It's mostly for the nuke.
You could actually.
Or
You
penicillin maybe when you're low on cards.
Yeah, if J King goes full on, tries to destroy your hand, yes, penicillin is a very, very fine option. And even the high altitude bombing plus the B-17F, even that is actually totally fine. And I've gone that myself against this matchup.
It's Super Flying Fortress, right? So,
yeah, sorry, Flying Fortress.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Yeah, that's the 5/5.
So J King already with the big 5/5 989s on the board here, but as we see, Leo has 2 Defend and Death in hand. Not going to play them now, maybe. Depends on how he's valuing his curve for the next turns. Yeah.
And just develop your research. He's really thinking for some reason.
I think the timer that's a bug there. Yeah, now it's timer starting, so it looks like he was already thinking. But yeah, he's taking some thought processes here. If he's doing Defender that now, he can play 2 drops next turn. Could also just develop his research and then play Defender that next turn. But yeah, he's valuing the curve a little bit more here, looks like. So he decides
reasonable.
Yeah, take it out.
I don't think there's much value to be gained necessarily, though, by dropping these early. Like, this game is going to almost always go long, and if someone's going to end the game early, it's going to usually be Germany. But who knows, you know? things like the JU coming down, sometimes you almost don't want your weak little units out because the JU will feed him new units. But it's going to be long, you know. Buckle up.
So Leo deciding whether to play the striker here or not. Looks like he's keeping it in hand. What could be an argument for keeping it in hand here and not playing it?
That argument is right in J King's hand. I would say it's from the deep. He played that Briance to see if J King has from the deep up, and then when he found out he doesn't have it, he's like, I'm going to keep this to try to hit a from the deep later.
Very good point, yeah. So he wants to trigger the from deep with it, so he gets the Ishak on board, the 2/2 fighter.
Yeah.
And wait, J King kind of wasted his from the deep into that. So it's a very good read here from Liu, holding it back. And there comes the JU, which might be very, very likely removed from the second defendant death here.
Yeah, there's the only real other unit to hit that could be better than this would be Leopold. That's literally it, because otherwise the unit's going to be untargetable. So I'm very happy dropping that defendant depth. And are you also going to drop KV next turn? Man, Germany hates KV.
Yeah, because it only really has Ladeshimov for it, and that's still 2 turns away. The Lion 4-day cannot really target it since it only has 3 attack. Yeah, that's really an annoying card for J King at the moment to deal with it. There comes the From the Deep. And I think Leo, oh look, he's not sure if he wants to do it.
Does J King know that Leo knows and that he's going to try to sacrifice a small unit? No one ever knows.
That's a lot of thought process that goes into that one now.
When you take this long, though, you definitely, like, if Leo had any doubt, now he definitely knows. Like, he 1,000% knows there's a front.
So now there can't be one since J King just spent his whole turn or his whole credits for the Comet. And now there could be an easy Leo KV1 deploy here, which we're going to see. And now J King needs answers for that. It's so close out of all removal that Germany has. Like Annihilation, it's just 1 credit too expensive. It has 1 attack too little to just be targeted by the Lion for a day. So the only thing that J King could do here was play the root out, remove the Briance.
Wow, he's really attacking. Is he really going to attack? I'm so surprised. Isn't he afraid of...
He wants to get it out of the support line, right? So it's not targetable from Ladeshima. So you definitely move it up here, I guess.
Okay,
reducing the options for J King even more.
Yeah, that's fine. I just thought he was about to attack. I was like, why would you attack though? So shouldn't you be worried about decisive defense? But just moving it up, that was a great play.
Yeah. So, and also catched it from the deep here from J King. So everything going in Leo's favor so far, and J King not with a whole lot of options here. Also, the discard is not too much value at the moment, since Leo has 7 cards in hand. And that's not really providing too much there. Comet coming down.
Nice use of Mare Nostrum for sure.
That keeps the the Comet alive. Gets rid of the KV1 here. Very, very good. I mean, it costs 1 Mare Nostrum that you maybe want to play on a non-targetable Pan to G. But in this case, it was just, yeah, too much value. Get rid of the KV1 with no other option in hand to do so. Plus heal yourself up for 5. Could be worse.
Here comes the Rima, which is still good against Germany because you're going to leave behind these units that unless you, even if you do get to root them out, they still keep that mobilize.
Yeah, root out not deactivating the mobilize ability there. And I really expect to drop him the Rima here.
He was definitely thinking about it. I would be very surprised if he didn't based on the way he's been playing this game so far. Because he is trying to put on pressure. That is really weird to me to not do it. It's before the Leopold turn. I don't know if he's concerned about like getting overdrawn with Leopold next turn, but there's really nothing you can do about that. I mean, you could burn Scorched Earth, but there's no way you want to do that on your own units. So, who knows?
King might utilize the Comet again to just bring this Brion's down to 2. But King really not in a good position here. Leo has so much value left in her hand here with the Reamer, research already at 3rd stage now. And
So
all that the King can do the whole time is just attacking with the Comet. So many dead cards in hand at the moment.
It's not so much that they're dead; it feels bad, right? You don't want to annihilate this little Ishak. There's no way.
Yeah, optimal case you want to do it on a Reamer, but Leo held it back, just advanced the research. Knowing King's hand, that was a good idea, so he did not provide any value into the annihilation. Now King found his research. We could find a U-boat off, or...
He would have a big Chaika, though, if he played it. And even the Brants would be starting to get buffed, and he would force out some more cards. So it's tough to really say what the best choice was.
Ooh, and King keeping his hand full here,
Yeah, if he doesn't play any units. If Leo doesn't play units.
Yeah, on the other hand, Leo cannot really advance the US research to the final stage now, because he will only get 1 nuke out of that one. He could
heal. He could heal with his Call to the Colonies.
Sure. So he needs to empty his hand first before he can play the research. He needs to play 2 cards here, actually. 1 card is not enough.
Okay, this is where you hold your breath if you're King. Oh, that's not good.
I mean, better than Leopold, but
sure.
One of the better cards that you don't want to overdraw. And King's hand is full of not... there are good cards in hand, sure, but you don't want to play La Deshima on a Bryansk or on a Ishak here.
Yeah, he's going to have to at some point, though. If Leo's going to continuously play like this, then he's just going to die 2 HP at a time.
So I wonder why King is not just playing the Tempo Flampanzer here at some point. Isn't he having 2 in hand? So even if Leo is finding the Engineer Battalion, you can still get rid of it with the 2nd Flampanzer.
Right, and then Night Witch is usually get cleaned up. Oh, there it is. Okay, he agrees with you. I was going to say. Okay, Parade that's a pretty terrible loss too.
Yeah, especially since 2 Bryansk are already out of the deck, so they're mostly only good units left in Leo's deck, so if you get 2 copies of that, that's a lot of value. But there comes the double...
Okay, playing the nukes, but accepting an overdraw. He is accepting overdraw by doing that. And there's still something like 272 in the deck, so you just really hope that you don't draw that.
Yeah, especially because he also has other options to remove that units there. Like the Winter Offensive would have killed both. Sure, would have also killed his Ishak, but it's having 4 operation costs anyway.
I would have liked that, because King would be at 8 right now. He could have hit with Ishak and then use Winter Offensive. I would have.
Yeah, and if he then advances to the nukes, right, he can just
kill right.
King with that.
And King actually does not have another Mare right now. I would have liked that a lot. Oh, okay, that's fine.
Overgoing the Shaika there. There comes the Manhattan Project now. So Manhattan Project is lethal next turn if he's doing the Winter Offensive this turn. He's definitely doing
no Mare. Give me no Mare. Okay, I kind of like this. He's just filling up his hand so that it's a little bit less likely to be discarded. It looks weird, but I like it.
Yeah, because at this point, you don't need any top decks out of your deck. You just need to make sure that King is not hitting your double Manhattan Project. And King not finding Mare Nostrum, there's no way you can prevent dying to the double nukes here, right?
No, there's nothing you can do.
Nothing. Yep. Not even the U-boat, because U-boat needs a target on board, and he's having... If he would have kept the Flampanzer, actually,
yeah, weirdly,
would have had a
chance
chance
fine. Yeah, maybe he should not have done that, but who could see that coming, really? You can't blame him.
Yeah, not really predictable. So that means Leo 1-0 lead over J King here, and we are straight up into match number 2. This time Leo with the US frontline deck against J King's German deck again.
A very close matchup. Going second, again, we're pretty happy with that, considering the amount of discard. That's actually fine.
Finding the 109's combat engineers here, right in your starting hand. Maybe looking for a 35T for turn 2, right? So you have the pressure early on in the front line with 3 damage. What else are you looking for?
You need your chocolate boys, of course.
Chocolate boys, exactly.
Now, you have a very interesting decision, actually, as J King in this matchup. Do you use Careless or not, knowing that it can just eat a chocolate boy? He does choose to use it. A lot of the time, I'll actually not use it because I'm expecting the chocolate boy so much, and it's just not good when there's so many other units, such as the Engineer Battalion or the Wirbelwind, or even 35T, to destroy with it. So I just wanted to point out that I think that's a much more complicated choice than it looks.
Yeah. On the other hand, later in the game, it can provide maybe less value because a lot of the mid-game units from US deck have 4 HP, so they stay alive at 1. So I think there are, kind of arguments to maybe hold it back or play it on turn 1. Because on the other hand, Leo, if he didn't find the chocolate boys, he could have also played the 109s, and then it would have been a very good catch to keep it with the Careless Talk or catch it with the Careless Talk. So yeah, I kind of see both sides here. And J King finding the Bologna here stops a lot of Leo's early aggression, I guess.
Playing this Werble to see if he can maybe bait out Root out, I'm thinking. If J King does Sudden Strike Werble right now, then this 22 is going to draw a lot of cards unless J King wants to overcommit to killing it or gets lucky with a draw here. I probably would have just 22'd anyway, but I like what Leo's doing. He knows that if he can draw enough cards, he should win. Oh, I think he's going to do it. He did it.
There comes the Sudden Strike. Bologna attacks the Chocolate Boy in the front line. So, what do you do here if you're Leo?
I would like to see probably just Engineer move up 22.
That Flampanzer's not providing too much damage throughout the whole match, so kind of...
That feels very weird to me. But okay.
I mean, it stays alive against the Root Out, right? So you have a definitely...
Yeah, but there's no way J King is going to play Root Out against this.
Yeah, not really.
I want to see him start drawing cards. Well, I'm sure what he's thinking about is Case Yellow, because he didn't do it the turn before. Now, Case Yellow doing like 1 damage to it. But what are you gonna do? Like never play it? It's less likely that he has Case Yellow now than next turn, right? Because he's drawn more cards at that point. So,
yeah.
Wow, he V1 bombed that. Okay. Maybe now Leo's ready to play. I mean, now actually you're not, because you don't have a blitz unit to get to the front lines. Actually, now at 22, I think he waited a little too long.
Yeah, maybe you should have played more US units last turn to have a guaranteed unit. Not guaranteed, but a higher chance to have a unit in the front line now to get Sherman draw rolling.
Yeah, because I wanted the Engineers last turn. So this turn you could have moved up your Engineers and used Sherman. That does not feel good.
Not really. Because now, what he wanted to prevent last turn, not giving J King the root out value, he's doing now even more, just because there are no other options left.
More importantly, not more importantly, but very importantly, without drawing on the 22.
So what can J King do here? Is he just dropping the FW on whatever?
On the
109s,
maybe? Boy on the 22.
I don't know.
Doesn't really matter.
None of these targets is really worth it, right? It's mostly just to bring down this big body.
22 will make him have to spend the most mana to replay it. Chocolate
Sure.
Boy means that he has to move Engineer if he wants to Sherman next turn, which means that you can get rid of Engineers more easily, which is important for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a
So
very
I think
good
Chocolate Boy, I would go with my first choice there.
Let's see what the reigning world champion is deciding to do here. Goes for the Chocolate Boy.
Okay, what do we want to do on a Sherman? I think we do. We don't want these draw cards to get discarded. Even if it does mean we're losing our Engineer for kind of free.
Yeah, Leo's hand is not really that great at the moment. I think a Sherman is the best spot here to just give him more options the turn after. There is the Skytrain. Comes some flashbacks from last weekend.
That was hilarious. Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was
If you don't
brutal.
know, it was a triple Jasko roll in a row from
That was
TV's
really
Skytrain,
brutal.
and he literally could not do anything. And I just want to point out, by the way, it's a good thing that they foresaw this situation a while ago in the patch, and they made it so that 0 attack units could attack. Because if they couldn't, it would have been literally couldn't do anything.
Yeah, it would have been an even more painful situation in the early stages of KARDS where you couldn't attack with units that had zero attack. So Stars and Stripes coming out here, taking out the 2 threats in J King's support line. Sherman goes to the front line.
Which is pretty good. Now I can't get Decimud. Or Decimud.
Yeah. J King probably has to spend the line for a day on it. But that will maybe...
Ooh, no, don't do that. Why would you do that? I mean, it's because it's an infantry, I guess, but don't do that. Oh, that's not good. Because that can't even hit this.
Can't even hit the Ladeshima. Yeah, because of the ambush ability from Ladeshima.
I mean, it can if we 99th it, but...
So there it comes from J King, taking out the Sherman. 5th Ranger's top decks, and at 99's bringing that 32nd. Could be 4 attack, 3 health, so it could take out the Deshima. I think we're definitely seeing that one.
And now what? Do we go a 5th Ranger? Do we go hit face? Do we go Skytrain?
I think we go 5th Ranger's frontline here.
Yeah, I think overall it's a big mistake to go the 8-8 version in this matchup until you've seen a lot more removal.
He's valuing the Skytrain 22nd a little bit more here. Oh,
no,
there's the Jasko again.
It's starting. Jasko's so bad in this matchup. You're very unhappy with that. By the time you start getting low, you usually already lost anyway. I imagine this is for the 32nd.
Seems to. But on the other hand, you can also use the Heinkel.
I would use this. I would use this, and then I would comet the... I would use Heinkel, that is. And then I would comet the Skytrain. Probably that would be.
Yeah.
But this is the same thing, generally.
Holding back the Heinkel for later, because it could be easily killed by a 35T, and then you only got 1 attack out of it. And
it's kind of always going to be easily killed by 1, but maybe not necessarily, depending on what the next draws.
And there is the 35T into 99s, makes it a 4-4. Take out the Flampanzer here, or do you take face? Because keeping it alive gives J King a more Nostrum option. But with that front line, with that front line, you're not caring too much about 1 more Nostrum, right? You have 10 damage.
Still no Leopold. He's gonna be so happy. Leo's gonna be so happy to not see his favorite card here, because then we can do it.
Yeah, he's even close to killing him with the Hellcat and then Blitzkrieg next turn.
That's true. Depending on how much lives, he could actually just... There's no way J King will play this turn that greedy, but that is true.
Can remove at least 2 with the with the Lion 4-day on one of the 4 attack units. Flampanzer can take out the 99s.
And then you can
And then
put up your decisive defense.
Yeah, can still decisive defense, so it should not be lethal for Leon next turn, depending on how greedy J King plays his turn now. I mean, but I think he's not having too many other options here than just doing that.
I do want to point out that, just like I was saying, a reason I might have considered banning the US deck from Leo is that 22nd, because he's got so much more draw than J King's version of the frontline deck, and it is definitely putting in work right now.
Yeah, absolutely. They're sticking on the board here for almost, for a lot of turns already. Provide a lot of draw.
Oh, okay. No decisive defense. He wants to end the draw. This is definitely reasonable. The draw is causing you too much pain. How much damage do we have?
Yeah, with
do we have credits?
With the verbal wind?
7 plus 5. I think.
Yeah.
Wait, is that it?
That's enough. Blitzkrieg just showing once more how strong that
the
card
no
is.
decisive defense. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that really backfired. And we said, depending on how greedy J King is playing the turn, there might be a chance, there might be the window for Leo, and Leo just, with the Wirbelwind plus the Hellcat, deploying 2 more units to the front line, and the Blitzkrieg just closing it out with a lot of damage there. And yeah, that means J King out in round 1 once again, and Leo advancing to the semifinals here. Wow, very impressive.
Yeah, GG. I know everyone hates discard, and we hate the okay, that's not true. I mean, I don't even mind discard necessarily, but I like that it's an option in the game, because so many other card games are too afraid to do discard. So I actually like that we have it. But you don't have to ban it just because you're afraid of the randomness necessarily. I didn't ban the discard in the open because overall I think I had good matchups against it, or better matchups against it than some of these other decks. I think J King actually, in this scenario, maybe should have considered banning that US, especially when you see how much draw was in it. Because what did he really have to deal with it, knowing that he even named it, this is always banned, right? If he knows his Britain deck is getting banned, I would have banned the US, because those other 2 decks don't have very great tools to do it.
So next up, in the second quarterfinal for today, we will have Het versus Known 5. Both 2 very well-known players. Het just won the recent OCC Clash event from February, so he's also in a very good spot at the moment. So let's take a look at the player profiles, the stats from the last season. With starting out with Known 5 here. Also, very similar win rate to J King here, 79% win rate, but only finishing 5th. That's really only,
he
but
must have lost to that random rank 2 guy playing Jagger, you know? I don't know. That can be the only explanation, I think.
Yeah, but it's really interesting that a very similar win rate can lead to very different results. But yeah, if you win everything in the beginning of the season, right, and then lose at the end, you very likely
that matters a lot more. Yeah, because once people have already started building up rank and rating, then you lose a lot less to them if you start playing late, you know?
Yeah.
And then simultaneously you win a lot more. If you just get into the OCC at the end and you're like just 2000 now and you beat like the 2800 guy, like boom, you gain so much. So must be something like that.
What's also interesting is the collection of hats in the background. So maybe no one can just add another hat here later today. Thinking about another hat. Maybe you can guide us through hats.
76.8% win rate, some crazy win rates, absolutely. This workers, was that even? I feel like he changes his favorite card every time, but maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe it's all in my head. But yeah, Het has absolutely been one of the fastest rising KARDS players recently. We saw him at Worlds, and we barely knew who he was at Worlds, right?
Yeah.
Like barely. At that point, he'd only been in a couple events, and kind of hasn't missed one since. He's been in one low CC Clash. He just got third in Open. So absolutely, I'm sure he is expecting great things out of himself today.
Yeah, absolutely. A really new rising star here on the card scene since the Worlds. He's been in almost every event, and yeah, another player that definitely is the one to beat here today. But before we jump into the action here, let's also take a look at the decks quickly. What are the players bringing today? Would you lead us through heads decks, Vinny?
Okay, well, I think as again, we wouldn't be surprised. We've got the US frontline. What's new about this one? Not too much. We see the 1 stars and stripes. We do see a 101st Airborne, which is pretty rare to see. Other than that, anything surprise you here?
No, only the 109th Airborne, usually not played in that deck.
Yeah,
but...
no controls, nothing new like that. Then we have Brit Air, which somehow we didn't see last series. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Also not too many players bringing it today. It kind of
they're opting for the discard. Yeah, they're opting for the discard version of Britain now too. Which, to be fair, is usually pretty good against air. So I can see why they would prefer that. So the Brit Air, nothing surprising here at this point. You know, this is such an old deck. We see 2 RAFs. That's not always super normal. You know, sometimes it's 1, or even Berto bringing 0 this time around. So that is something that his opponents are going to have to keep in mind. And now this here is spicy. The Resistance. The Japan-France Resistance rocking the 4 naval operation. I foresee this deck leading to some crazy long, crazy complicated games where you're just hoping, please do not discard anything important from me. Yeah, I'm actually... thank goodness, by the way, that they nerfed this deck so much that we can be to the point where we're like, yes, Resistance, hooray! You know, I'm so excited to see it. Where it used to be very much the opposite, right?
Yeah, and also with 4 naval operations that you just mentioned, if you're ahead here, you're mostly always targeting Brit Air or any air deck for the ban, right? Because otherwise you have 4 dead cards in your deck.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't want to have that one.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if we were to ask Ped right now, what was he expecting the metagame to be, what he would say, because clearly he's targeting air, or to ban air, excuse me, and he's targeting frontline, I would say, but not necessarily, right? Because frontline tends to do pretty good against Brit Air, but I guess people see Brit Air ban Brit Air, right? So I'm very interested in this lineup strategy.
Yeah, at least he's having a good lineup here for Noen, I guess. So let's take a look at Noen's decks. I mean, yeah, Brit Air, usually not really what you want to face with that Resistances with 4 naval operations. So that's definitely a target for a ban here. But then the other 2 decks, right? Noen just bringing his, let's call it a signature German US Blitz tank deck. What do you think about that one?
He's got a lot of signature decks, right? Don't forget about his ramp German deck, right?
Yeah.
So instead of that, he's bringing the Heinz. Yeah, Heinz is pretty good against air. Usually, I would say a little bad, just a little unfavored against the front line. Honestly, I think it's gonna struggle against all the discard that we're seeing here today.
Sure, because only the 22nd, right? And 1 Enigma for drawing here. I mean, it can pop up really, really fast. Look how many 1-drop tanks you have there. Sure, they all have 1 operation cost, so you cannot really blitz too many in the front line early on. But if you find the Greif additionally to that, there's a lot of potential that you can kill your opponent on turn 4 or 5 if you just find the Blitzkrieg and a lot of these cheap tanks. So there's definitely some potential. But yeah, on the other hand, we haven't seen too much Heinz decks recently, and I think Noen is kind of the only one who's still seeing some value in it, and he's the only one or one of the best one to pilot it. So if anyone can win with it here today, then it should be Noen. And yeah, the third deck, another very popular deck that Noen is bringing a lot is just Soviet-US ramp, kind of, with 4 war machines, 1 warbunds, and 2 B-17 flying fortress here in the deck. What is he trying to target with that list?
Well,
All
these
other
Soviet decks
controls?
with ramp in general tend to beat other control decks, right?
Yeah.
Because you are a control deck, but you can just go a bit faster, and you have those flying fortresses, which tend to be really good. You definitely need a lot of draw, though, to beat all of the discard that you're seeing today. And this deck does not actually have a lot of draw. He used to have 2 mobilizations, I'm pretty sure, in this deck. Only 1 this time around.
Yeah.
Additionally, on an open deck list, cards like Partisans and Confusion are actually really bad against that Brit discard list. But he's not having to deal with that this round. So I think it'll be a good match this round, but we'll have to see if he can make it even further.
All right, so let's take a look, or let's first of all take a guess what both players are banning from each other. That's always a fun part, because just
this is not a guess for head, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely banning the Brit Air from Known, and yeah, if you're Known, are you just also banning Brit Air there from head, or do you take the Resistance deck out?
Definitely not the Resistance deck, I would imagine. The Brit Air, I'm not a fan, generally speaking, of the strategy. Like, oh, it's something I haven't played against as much. For one, no one has played this game so much. Even if Resistance isn't popular, I'm sure he's very experienced with it.
Yeah.
I guess you're gonna ban. Yeah, honestly, banning the air is fine, but you do have Heinz, which tends to be pretty good against air.
Okay.
So I think we'll probably just see the double Brit Air classic.
And let's take a look if this is the case, and we see
it's the double Brit Air classic.
Very good. So we see the double Brit Air ban here. So head only having access to the US-German frontline, Japan-France resistance, and Known the German-US tank deck and the Soviet-US ramp control deck. Let's jump straight into the action here.
Who's going first? Head's going first.
Head's going first. Known bringing the German tank deck. Head with the US-German frontline deck. And Known found the 109s and had also with a really good start here. 32nd into 35T.
Yeah. The PIR, I imagine we should see this turn. Oh, 2 Blitzkriegs. Oh wow, I don't know about that. I really would have liked to see PIR, but
yeah, on the other hand, you also want to keep Known kind of away from the front line, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it would have become a 2-3 this turn with the engineers, but the 2-3 could then just be killed by whatever got buffed by the PIR. Now we can't do that.
That's a good point. So head going white here now with another 32nd into PIR.
Oh, finding Greif this early is definitely good.
But not really another tank to get the value out of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, not this turn.
If
you want to spend all your credits, we could do engineers, Greif, and then dive bomb. Just okay. Gonna be giving up the front line big time here.
Yeah, so head definitely shoving a lot of units into the front line here now.
I think both Blitzkrieg and such a unit-based matchup like this early is so bad, though. So bad.
Yeah, like look what is head having left now, 132nd, and then he's almost only left with orders. Not really the situation you want to be in with, and definitely waiting for Sherman here soon. There comes the Greif.
Big front line gonna be taken.
Frontline taken out at 132nd maybe. And also deploy a second Panzer IIA here if he wants to.
Yeah, or you can move up. He's really thinking.
Yeah. Thinking what to do.
I might play the engineers, but that would be a big mistake because the one of Stars and Stripes is in the hand. So will he play around this one of Stars and Stripes? If he does, he's going to be in a great position for now. The Stars and Stripes is going to come out.
Not attacking with a
Wait,
Panther
did no one? Yeah,
3
did he
F
just
there.
not attack? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he attacked
really
with both of the
costly.
small tanks into that one. I'm not sure why exactly.
That's not really costly,
Just-
but he's gonna regret it because the Stars and Stripes is gonna come out. Anything else, I think, is a huge mistake from Head, especially when we can do it as sitting right in hand. There we go. Yeah, just play the Stars and Stripes.
There goes the support line from Noen, keeping him or having him only 2 of the Panther 2s in the
And
front
look at the
line.
power of PIR in these unit-based matchups,
yeah.
especially going first. This is why I wanted to play it straight up on turn 2. Getting all the buffs on that one guy is not very good, but it's okay.
And had found the Sherman, but unfortunately, I cannot see how he's going to the front line any soon.
Yeah, he got a pretty bad distribution of buffs from his PIR.
And that autocannon will provide a lot of value for Noen now.
Oh yeah.
Taking out the PIR.
I mean, frankly, why did Head use the dive bombing there? That feels a bit like a mistake, right? Because PIR is gonna always die to autocannon here anyway, right?
Yeah, maybe just want to give Noen one more target that he has to take care of. I don't know.
Bouncing that would be weird to me, right? Don't you want to kill it when you can kill it? Yeah. Right?
Yeah, especially when you have an artillery on board. There we go.
Yeah.
Bouncing the buff.
Because if it comes back again, it's going to be smoke screened again, right? So that would
exactly.
Very costly. Okay, let's get a Sherman rolling.
It's very important here for Head. Found the 35T out of it.
Don't think you play that yet, though.
At least he found an answer for the autocannon now. With 35T 99s potentially, but also maybe...
Potentially, because the We Can Do It's going to come out.
Yeah, that's very likely here on Noen's end.
Noen is playing 3 Blitzkriegs, so these Blitzkriegs are really costing both players right now.
So what is Noen doing here? We Can Do It. He left him 2 credit to spend. Go to the Sherman with the FW.
Yeah, you just have to do it. It feels really bad to not be able to tackle both units here, but you just have to do it.
Okay. Valuing the tank on board more than protecting the autocannon from the Sherman here. So
I think this could be a turn to Blitzkrieg. Does he have enough credits? Actually, I don't think he does.
I mean, you can blitz attack with 35T and Sherman, right?
Yeah, I can just regular attack. Well, no, because you need 3. Oh, no, yeah, he's just enough, right?
I mean, exactly
just
the correct amount of credits.
Okay.
So,
yeah, then you totally do that, because you can take out this autocannon. Otherwise, the autocannon's going to keep gobbling up units.
Also play the 99s on the Sherman, maybe. And then attack autocannon.
You could do that if you wanted.
With a 6-4.
I would not do that because you're really looking for an excuse to play these Blitzkriegs. Otherwise, they're kind of dead. Like things could happen that make them useless in the future. So I would really have liked to see him utilize it when... Oh, no.
Oh, no. Both players stuck with 2 Blitzkriegs in hand.
I think this is over for Noen, especially if Head draws any sort of decent card next turn. But even if he doesn't, just an 8/8, that'd be more than good enough. Actually, wait, the game's just over if he doesn't kill anything, but surely no one's going to trade.
So yeah, as good as Blitzkrieg is in several situations, as bad is it in situations like that, where you're stuck in your support line and then you're just drawing blitzkrieg after blitzkrieg and cannot really just, come back into the match.
Yeah, these 30 seconds are so big. It's just something that Heinz doesn't have. And we all know how important going first is in these aggro-based matchups. Except for sometimes Jagro, because they can come. No, don't hit face. I mean, whatever. I can see what. No, I don't hit face. You're gonna lose. Don't do that.
Yeah, especially when you know that your opponent is having blitzkriegs in the deck. You probably don't want to give him 2 tanks in the front line there. Found a 35T.
How much damage is that? It's
10.
8/8.
Oh,
so
no, doubles blitzkrieg.
16. You could do 16, but yeah, there's not much point doing that yet before you can kill him. So probably wait on that.
Especially with the 5th Rangers additionally in hand, you can just push them additionally, move the rest up. Then you have... Okay, he's trading them 1 or 2.
Okay, Skytrain, I think he's doing that because he wants to have the option of going 8/8 Rangers instead.
That was a good point here for Noen, giving him some options.
It is a good find, but Noen not playing Leopold makes this very difficult to come back from.
And these are also not the best options. I mean, Panzer 3.
I mean, they are the best. It is the best. There's not. That's my
Yeah.
point. Is there's nothing that good. Like there's no Leopold. Panzer 3 is the best thing he can find. Fits in perfectly with his credits. It's the biggest unit he has.
Still thinking about his options here. But this unit having smoke screen is also very, very important here. So Head cannot really get rid of both of these tanks.
I think the 8/8 is coming through this turn.
And here comes the 8/8 5th Rangers. And that's a big task for Noen to take care of here with the Greyhound. This is not really doable. And he cannot even take out... Oh, he can take out at 8/8, but...
He can, but it's going to... I mean, realistically, he can. It's going to cost him everything.
And if Head just finds one blitz tank, one small blitz tank now, but he already played 2 35Ts, right? So there's not that big of a chance to find some here. Instead, he find the dive bombing, getting rid of the Panzer 3E.
Head getting... Again, I
places.
think it was a significant mistake for Head to hold the Blitzkriegs earlier, but him getting not double Jasko actually has been pretty important, honestly. Okay, just give up.
My god.
Screenshots and give up.
That's the 3rd Blitzkrieg.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
My luck. Not my luck.
Yeah, that's a problem with playing 3 copies of Blitzkrieg. But usually when you play 2 or 1, you never find it. When you play 3, you find all of them. So sometimes it's just like that. And Hand just showing that he's really in a good shape at the moment and taking
no,
1-0
having to go second again. You hate going second in aggro v aggro. Oh, but the Nashib. Oh wait, sorry, this is an aggro. Sorry, I'm so used to seeing Japan and being Jagro. This is not Jagro. This is fine.
This is resistance now, and Had also found 2 naval operations already. It's really good against Noen's very, very ground-based deck.
Very good indeed. But Noen has the Nashib. How much, though? This is always like the impossible question to answer, though, against this deck. How much do I want to put on the board, right?
How much do you want?
Do you want to commit to the board?
Yeah. Especially against a deck that Head is playing with a lot of AoE and a lot of removal that targets so many units. Look, even the Tora Tora now.
AoE. I mean, look at his hand, right?
Yeah.
It's 4 AoEs in his 6-card hand, one of which was generated, so that one doesn't even count. So it's like 4 out of 5 of his hand is AoE.
Really brutal. And also Noen sticking in the support line here, not pushing up the Panzer 2 so the Befehlswagen could have been deployed. Just because he knows there are not not a lot of units in head stack, so it's very likely that he can still push up next turn. But yeah, he could have attacked this turn with the Befehlswagen, right? On the other hand, the Wirbelwind had Blitz
He
anyways.
could have, unless, of course, naval op. I would imagine his thought process there was he doesn't want to put too much on the board, but you can't even control it. Like, it's always going to go on the board when you move up eventually. So yeah, I agree. Moving up would have been better.
There comes the Wirbelwind attack now.
I wonder if he could make the Befehlswagen not deploy, if he would opt to do that.
So, and now we're in a situation where no one would really want a Blitzkrieg in his hand, with another Panzer II in hand and a lot of things on the board that just magically disappeared right now. Only one Wirbelwind left now, but another small Blitz tank. But no Blitzkrieg this time in hand.
Baiting out that bombing raid might be huge, because this Heinkel might get a ton of draws now. Oh, never mind.
Never mind. Second Tora drawn. And also instantly played. Bye-bye, Heinkel. We had a nice time.
We really need the we can do it. That is the key in this matchup.
109 is a good find here. Not the best, but at
yeah,
least
I mean,
something.
Head's running out of steam, no draw yet. He could run out of steam, potentially. Obviously, he can buy a ton of time, but he might continue to draw pretty low value cards.
Already down to 13 and no healing in hand for Head at the moment.
Yeah, only one Liberation in Head's deck, which is pretty darn surprising.
But on the other hand, 3 call to colonies, right? Yes.
Yeah, he does have that.
So there's a lot of potential healing, but not actually in the hand right now.
What about playing Sheehan here?
No one is playing one pursuit.
Yeah.
There is a risk that you just raised your whole turn 5 here.
All these other plays are not very good either, though.
Probably just go with the first naval operation here, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely the less risky play.
Knowing that your opponent plays 3 Blitzkriegs, like you want to shut down any units on board.
That surprise attack is surprising to me because he had another naval offer. Yeah, I know.
Water coming down. Yeah, no one really pushing right now. Wants to close out the game. If he finds a Blitzkrieg out of that Spoils of War.
Where's the Blitzkrieg now? There it is. See, this is why that surprise attack would be totally wasted if he uses this
Imperial Decree, yeah?
Royal Decree, excuse me. No draw, though, just like I was afraid of. Really, I mean, there's no way to know, obviously, what's going to happen, but turns out he really probably should have played that Sheehan.
Oh, there's the Blitzkrieg now. Unfortunately, only one pinned unit left on the board.
Wait. Okay. No, very smart playing around the defend and def.
That keeps the FW alive.
Oh, but then you draw no one is so much, and like you definitely lose at that point, right? Because Blitzkriegs. But you have to do it, don't you think?
Yeah, since he cannot really get rid of the FW.
You're gonna have to do it eventually. Like there is no choice. Eventually, you're gonna have to do it because you're running out of cards.
Sheehan coming down. Ooh, sacrifice the Sheehan just to preserve some HQ health here.
How much damage is this? 6+. This is no, not enough yet.
No, he cannot attack with the 3F, unfortunately. 1 credit short.
It's fine.
Trying to utilize it as artillery, but that did not work. Down to 5. Head can pin one of them, but the Blitzkrieg will just... Oh no, also defend and death. So he has to pin one of them, kill the other one with defend and death. Otherwise...
And I know you're gonna lose. I mean, you're gonna lose no matter what, basically from here. But you kind of just have to play Phony War at some point. How else are you gonna win? I mean, you could just draw back to back to back Call of the Colonies, and
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Trust.
I guess not playing it is correct, but
Yeah, especially since
feels
you
bad.
realize that your opponent is keeping several cards in their hand, so head might be. Yeah, you might just think that no one is not really having any good options here, and I don't think if you want to give him more options by playing the Phony War, when you still have things to just stop the aggression here, that can just pin that one. You can
Yeah, I
still
mean, you're
do it.
definitely not accomplishing anything, but you are, or I mean, you're not like furthering your game state, but you are surviving.
Oh,
Whereas
an
with Phony
interesting
War, you're
last
not
right
even
here.
surviving. There we go, and there's the punish for not playing. Or basically this. Ooh. Okay, keep that
Greyhound,
in
right?
hand. Keep that in hand.
No,
Greyhound is 4.
the front line, yeah, the front line tank is pinned. I forgot.
Yeah. So probably just take 3F and keep it in hand. And this turn you can play that and the 22.
Oh,
Okay.
another
Now it's super
blitzkrieg.
over.
Well, yeah, that's actually good. Any small 1k blitz tank can give lethal for no now.
Kept it in
Head
hand.
really looking for call to colonies, right? So that's why I don't understand why you play the kamikaze. I mean, sure, he gives him one more draw, but
but you can see exactly why you don't do it.
Also just fills his hand up. I think this one draw was not really worse having 4 kamikazes in hand now. So, yeah. But he
GG.
found the call to colonies, can heal up 4 to 13 now. If he wants to. What else could he do? Not too many other options. I mean, raiding brigade and then blitz into the frontline tank could clear the boars.
What is he looking for? The last naval op?
Yeah, but he has a board clear here.
What?
Ooh.
That's fine.
Is
okay.
it?
It's
not fine, I guess.
Well, it's not fine. I'm just like he did what he could. Like he's obviously super hyper mega dead.
Oh god, look at this. All these one attack tanks turning into actual really beasts with 23 damage in one turn and no one equaling the score now with this. Yeah, really interesting.
There we finally see the downside of Phony War.
Yeah, definitely. That really helped no one a lot there.
When you play against these hyper aggro decks that actually don't have good draw, because sometimes Phony War is actually still really good against Jagra, right? Especially after they play Feigned. It's like, stop! I can't hold all my cards. And you like reduced my lifespan by so much.
Okay, we have a turn, a match 3 here in this series. Who's ever winning now advances to the semis and is facing Leo there.
Versus the Resistance. Going first feels so good as ramp because then they can't claw your hand as fast. So I like where no one is already.
And also knowing has the War Machine into turn 3 5th Rangers combination in hand.
Right.
And also found the second one now.
I wonder if he'll ever be so greedy as to wait for 8, depending on what he draws.
There's type 94.
Yeah, as soon as that comes out, you don't wait, though, because the pin will kill it either way. Will he ever be so greedy that he plays Sickle here? Because it's not like the Japan deck has units on board almost ever, right? So you don't usually have targets for your Sickle.
Sure. I mean, there are some units.
There are some, but they usually blitz it right away. You know? So it was not a bad option, but yeah, I totally would fifth it.
Yeah, depending on what you draw on after the sickle or from the sickle, it could be a really awkward turn where you just wasted 3
just a total pass. So this is perfect.
Now we can play the sickle. Confusion. That is... Yeah, I mean, there is the raiding brigade, but usually a very useless card here for known in that matchup. Second naval operation for...
3, actually.
The third. That's the third one, yeah. Is known running We Can Do It in that list?
No, I don't think so.
No. Not a single copy.
Yeah, see, look at this. He's bloody sickling his own Bryansk because that's how little he expects him to have units on board. Oh, Hammer is a great
Hammer was
discard.
really good there, yeah.
Yeah, that's like actively amazing because you usually can't even play it. So it's just a dead card clogging your hand.
I mean, you can play it on your own units.
You can, but
yeah. Usually you don't want to do
bad.
it. But also these Bryansk are not delivering too much here. Sure, they're guarding against the Shiden and the Kicker, I guess, but
yeah, in the late game, that is don't sleep on that application. That's actually a very useful application. But yeah, at this stage, something is just gonna kill it for free, which is probably what we're gonna see. Second rating brigade, and that is what we're gonna see. Yeah, I would not play the Tora. You don't want to leave stuff on board.
Yeah, exactly. Just attack with it now, leave the 5th Rangers at 1, and then you can just finish it off with the Tora or Naval Operation next turn. And yeah, Confusion and Partisans in None's hand.
I would like to see Tora and heal here.
Yeah.
Or do you want to draw? What do you want to do? The colonies here.
I don't know. I mean, you're down to 12, but on the other hand, None is not that aggressive. He's not having Blitzkrieg or anything, so you might just see what is coming there towards you. I can see an argument just drawing here.
Yeah,
from
either
the
way.
Phonies.
Generally speaking, when you have Phony already in hand, it's totally okay to heal. But we might see another situation where he doesn't want to actually give him more threats to play, right?
Yeah.
Head is also really thinking about this. Because can he actually safely play Phony later or not? Yeah, he's going to heal. Oh no, that is the best card in this matchup. The best card in the game, even, probably.
Very, very strong here.
Ooh.
Not just the 6/6 as a threat there. When Head kills it, there's an even bigger threat on board with the 8/8 Field.
And you can't help but kill it. Because if you don't, one, it's going to start killing you. Two, you have so much AoE in this deck that eventually it dies anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, and right on 8 credits. I'm not going to lie, no one's luck has been pretty insane this game. Turn 2 War Machine, both of the 5th Rangers, the Sickle, good discards, going first. It's looking nice for him so far.
So what is Head able to do here? Nothing too crazy. I mean, he has Naval Operation plus Surprise Attack potentially.
Oh, you are definitely not surprise attacking this guy. Or any of these guys, the destructions.
Yeah, but it's going to have the surprise attack in hand now, keeping it for later, obviously, because you don't want to kill that 6/6, especially since it's not in the front line right now. So you can still wait to deal with it once it reaches the front line.
Why would he Tora instead of Naval Op, do you think? I feel like that's pretty bad on a couple levels, because there are air units in this deck, and like you're letting him move up now.
So no one emptying his hand here just to play around the defend and death.
Right.
At 4, so
and around Phony Ward to some extent as well, to get him more cards. Which you do have to win. You do have to actively win. You're not going to win on fatigue because they can just fill their deck with the Kamikaze. Wow, he's drawing Nolan more cards than he is himself.
Ooh, and there's the Euro Factories and the Red Banner. Double Josef Stalin incoming. Wait for it.
This is insane.
Oh my.
Oh, but no, yeah, I think you do it because, well, no. Maybe you don't. Because here's what you think if you're Nolan, right? You're always thinking about to the last man. Always.
Yeah.
Can Head play the last man next turn? No. But you do know he has a surprise attack in hand. That much you know for a fact. So if you Red Banner this and then get surprise attacked on 1, then you're not happy.
Also, to the last man here is getting less values as long as this 272nd is on the board. Because when this dies, no one still has the Josef Stalin on board. So Head has to deal with it first before he can even play to the last man to not risk to.
Is Head it playing Honorable Death? I don't remember, because he's playing some weird stuff in this deck. Is he not playing Honorable Death?
I don't think so.
That has to be super wrong. That card is so insane in this deck. I mean, the pins are looking pretty nice from the TKs as well, but maybe certainly the standard thing would be to be playing no scouting parties and 2 honorable deaths instead. We'll see how good these scouting parties really are.
That means no one is overdrawing now. Oh, Sickle's fine.
Dude, Sickle's perfect.
Yeah. Good overdraws here from no one so far.
Why did he play that to overdraw, but like... Oh, he's going to transform this. He wants to... Okay, I would have hit face with my 272 and my T34.
Stealing that one. Giving him a Claude, or what is this thing?
Yeah, the Claude. Not very good. I think he probably would have wanted like a
Oh,
Keto.
wait. Head can clear the board and can kill the Josef Stalin?
Can, yeah. But then he will not have an answer immediately to KV, but you have to do it, I think.
Yeah, being down to 12, no healing in hand. That has to
No
be the
draw
play
in
here.
hand either.
Yeah.
That was such a small phony war from Head.
Yeah, it really helped no one more than it helped himself.
That has kind of been the theme of the series with those phony wars.
Is he seeing that? He's looking for another way to maybe deal with the board, but there comes the Imperial Decree, Desperate Measures. Naval surprise attack.
Will he play the last rites this time? I think he should not.
He should not.
He will not. Do we see partisans, do you think? I think he's going to do it, actually.
I mean...
Just don't let him draw.
I would maybe prefer the KB1 here, just to prevent another phony war.
Yeah. I would do this too, but just, clearly he didn't want him to draw, because last turn he didn't play the T34, so... But maybe now you do want to draw, now that you have your KB.
Is it new where the light infantry spawned there?
That is weird. That feels like a bug. Yeah, what they did do is they made it so that if you play it on the left, that it will still spawn on the right. Because you remember when you would play Armored Train on the left, and then be like, oh my god, what have I done,
Yeah.
And it is no longer Gagarin HQ. That is a bug. That has to be a bug.
That looked unfamiliar to me, honestly.
Yeah.
I would have expected the KB1 to be not guarded, but...
It's always supposed to spawn to the right of your base and right of the Armored Train. So I would have expected it to be immediately right of Armored Train. Okay, well...
Okay, Head with the back against the wall here. Only healing is helping. You cannot even play... Oh, no.
He's drawing with KB, so,
He's still drawing a card. I thought he'd already drew one. Yeah, wow. Yeah. And just the quintessence of that series was that phony war is helping your opponent more than yourself sometimes.
Yeah, hard wrecked on that resistance.
That means we will have the semifinals Leo versus Known 5, and only one match left for today here, which is Jinlun versus Berto. Alright guys, welcome to the last quarterfinals for today's OCC Clash event. In this 4th series we will see Jinlun taking on Berto Burrito. But yeah, before we start with the action, let's take a look at the player profiles, at the stats of the last months. And yeah, also take a look at the deck list, and then we can jump right into the action. So Berto, finishing 6th last season and just barely made the cut into directly qualifying to the OCC. 81% win rate, that's even 2%.
That is crazy, that's the highest we have here.
Yeah,
but only 6, because he barely played that many games.
Yeah, look at this, only 248 and 47 losses. Very, very impressive. Most played Britain, so we kind of assume it was Brit Air, and that just shows how strong and dominant Brit Air still is. But favorite card, bombing rate. Yeah, interesting facts here and very impressive stats from Berto.
Jinlun back again with the To the Last Man favorite card. And, oh wow, lots of games. I was going to say, because I saw the win rate, 66.78, which generally would be, wow, so high, but not compared to Berto necessarily. But absolutely beasting out the games at 849 and making it in here at 3rd place. And most played Germany, which is pretty rare to see. So I wonder what his deck of choice was, because if he was playing German Control for that many games, yeah. You know, did you have time to eat or what?
Would have been a hard way of a grind there, yeah. Okay, so let's take a look at the deck list, what both players are bringing here today. Starting off with Jinlun. Yeah, just what we've seen so many times already today. US-German frontline. Anything outstanding here? Yeah, very popular deck in the past months, and I think if there's not any change to any of these cards like the 5th Rangers, we will see it also in the future being very prominent in the competitive events. Second deck, we have Britain, Germany. This card, we've already seen that one today. Jinlun decides to go with double Wolfpack and that one. Other than that, yeah, just a very standard Britain German discard list. Yeah, nothing too outstanding here. Or did I miss something?
No, nothing.
One honey.
Nothing unexpected. Well, actually, no. I guess the Lancasters always in there because like you're discarding their hand anyway. So like, are you really increasing any costs? But
yes, that's right. Lancaster is not played too often, and also one random honey appearing here, just to.
Yeah, not anymore. We used to see that card a lot, right? But it kind of got caught in the crossfire for all this like Brit Air hate, right? Can you imagine how bad it feels to just get 52k'd on your card that you just played 10k to attack with, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And then the 4th deck, we just have a deck that we've already seen today. Soviet France, yeah, control, I would call it. A very control-heavy deck, a lot of guards, a lot of potential healing. Just a deck that is targeting very aggressive decks. It has a lot of tools to deal with that, and is very annoying to play against if you're just playing the aggro playstyle.
Yeah, it also goes not even just the aggro playstyle, but we saw it beat Germany pretty hard, right? Especially if they're more anti-aggro Germany. So much longevity with this deck too, with all of the spy rings, so you can play defensively and you can play for the long game.
Yeah, even the control mirror, when you play against another control deck, these spy rings just offer you so much value potentially. That's really, really strong, exactly. So then we just continue with Berto's decks here. What do we see here, Vinny?
US front line, this time with 2 patrols though. 2 patrols, we've got no Greyhounds, we've got no Stars and Stripes. So instead, these spaces have gone into max half track, 2 patrols, 2 Blitzkriegs. Is there any other interesting cards?
And also 101st Airborne played from
and the 101st Airborne. Yep, that's true. We're seeing another player bringing that.
And what is also worth mentioning, that Berto usually was the kind of player that preferred island hopping over Blitzkrieg. But yeah, looks like somebody or something that happened in the past just convinced him that Blitzkrieg maybe in the current meta being the better choice over island hopping here. So Berto decides to also just put into Blitzkrieg over island hopping, which I find quite interesting.
Yeah, I brought one in my latest iteration. However, I understand why they're doing it. Of course, the control decks just control you so hard anyway that like, how about let's just like not go to the late game, you know? Like with the island hoppings and the research type of approaches. Sometimes those cards are great, but just thinking that you can get more value versus control consistently with Blitzkrieg and by just ending the game. The ultimate value is killing the opponent, right? And now we see a return of an old favorite or least favorite. the Soviet
Ooh.
artillery.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't think it's gonna do very well. There's a lot of AoE this OCC, a lot of supply shortages, and I think for me, I think not the main reason, but a big reason I might bring this deck is to abuse the supply chain in a meta where discard is so common. But he's actually not doing that, and not only is he not doing that, but not having 2 5-year plans, only having one. So I actually think discard will beat this deck most of the time.
Yeah,
There's
we
not
only
that
have
much
the
going.
Yak and 1 5-year plan basically for drawing.
Right. And you do have We Can Do It, but the We Can Do It is not very easy. I have tried it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, wow, it's such a big increase in the HP on my artilleries that have like 1 or 2 HP, right? So it makes a lot of sense. But the fact of the matter is, by the time you're ready to play this and attack, some of the stuff is just, it doesn't matter. 4 HP, it's dying to the Sherman anyway,
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm very excited to see it. And then we have Brit Air, which will probably be banned.
Okay, yeah, that might summarize it very well. So, since Jinlun is not playing Brit Air, what do you think should Berto ban from them?
I think he's going to ban the Brit discard.
Brit discard, okay. Yeah, especially because his Soviet US arty is so weak against it, right?
Yeah, I don't think he actually has even a single deck that is actively good against it. Most of them are pretty bad, so that'll be the ban, I presume.
So,
and we'll see double Brit ban as we do pretty commonly.
Let's see if we just keep our streak here with guessing everything correctly.
Oh,
ooh,
the US ban.
US Germany frontline banned from Berto. I mean, yeah, we've just seen this deck popping up today, so not the worst choice here from Jinlun. But now he has to face or to deal with Brit Air, and we just see the Soviet mirror that isn't actually a mirror.
Okay, this is a matchup you want to see though, as Berto. Especially now that these Soviet France decks are cutting things like Sickle, I foresee this actually going really well for Berto.
Also, Red Devils on starting end is pretty nutty.
With the combined with the 99th,
combined
sure.
with the 99s, absolutely strong opening play here for Berto.
And this Soviet deck really relies on Bryansk to slow down. But guess what? Artillery, I don't care. I'm just gonna go over the top, right?
Yeah. Not a single guard for Jinlun here.
Yeah.
The Engineer Battalion
is amazing though. That's amazing. I mean,
really
I don't care that he doesn't have a guard. He's got that Engineers because Berto has 0 way to deal with that, basically. Like 0, legitimately 0.
On the other hand, Jinlun is also not having another unit right now to get value out of the Engineer Battalion.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he needs to draw something else like pretty soon, but he's got some time.
Let's see how much time it is, since Berto can move up, deploy Greyhound maybe, and the next turn we might just see... Oh, is he going to buff the Greyhound instead?
Why though? Why not move the infantry? Well, I guess I think he wants more HP on the card that can buff his artillery. I suppose that's why. Oh, it's because he wants to go face already. He doesn't even want to use the 99. Okay, this is probably smart because it can actually get out of range of Defend and Dove. Assuming we don't see Defend and Dove this turn, which we don't.
I think Jinlun must have had the worst starting hand possible here, with not a single guard unit, only 1 defend and death.
It is pretty bad, but I'm still not giving up hope at all. Like, he's got a lot of HP healing, and eventually he's gonna be able to play Rima, and eventually he'll draw units to heal. Eventually.
Berto with a really still spicy hand here. He has the 10th Engineer Battalion, the 99s. And Jinlun not having Bloody Sickle. You're sure he has to Winter Warfare.
Though. What is this? This is not like an artillery deck right now.
So right now it looks like US frontline, at least what is on the board. But there is the Bryansk Irregulars. So unfortunate for Berto here that there's the Winter Warfare sitting in Jinlun's hand.
But that will only kill the 10th engineer, not the threats in the front line. I mean, they're not really threats with one attack right now.
Big choice to make here, though. Jinlun actually has a lot of choices. Chaika plus Winter Warfare, heal, draw. What do you do?
That's a good question. Since you have the second Reamer here, maybe you go for the heal now and just drop the guard later. But on the other hand, I don't want to have the 10th engineer sticking on the board.
Okay, Winter Warfare plus Chaika. Definitely the least greedy approach. And I think that not being greedy is a good approach. Yeah, for sure. That is not a good draw.
Do we see the 99s now? What do you think about the idea of just waiting with the 99s and play it on the Brillance Irregulars?
Yeah, it's a good option. I don't know if I would do it, but it's a good option for sure. Something that I didn't even talk enough about the deck list from Berto. It is making some interesting adaptations compared to the artillery deck that we may remember from when it was crazy good. For example, he is playing some infantry like the Bryansk. I wonder if it was like a similar thought process that I had, because I was also playing some infantry in my Soviet air deck, just to abuse the Zhukov and to guard my bombers against aggressive decks. So I think that's what he was thinking, but you're not happy in this matchup to be getting things like engineers and Bryansk.
Yeah, you want to have those artilleries, and the card that he just found, Periodic Firestorm here, but unfortunately only one Katyusha.
Not very good here. Are you really going for it though? Do you think he might go? Because he could take out the Rima. It feels really bad, but you could do it.
Looking at Jinlun's hand here, I'm not too optimistic for the rest of the battle for Berto. Look at that amount of healing and potential draw.
I mean, again, I'm very happy to see this deck, but there's a reason people don't play it anymore. Oh, he's just not playing it, period.
Just skipping the turn, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, you can't really, like, play... Now that he moved Bryansk, which, by the way, why did he move up Bryansk, though? Because, like I said, the main point of this card, because we think of Bryansk as a great control tool, right? And it is. But the reason I would play it was to guard, like, my bombers and my artillery. But because he moved it up, he can't guard his Katyusha, which means he can't even play his Katyusha anymore. Okay, that's a great draw, though. That's what he needed.
On the other hand, it is just 3 damage to that Rima, right? If it dies. So maybe he's valuing that one more than guarding one potential Katyusha here.
Trying to suicide his Bryansk to get 3 damage, sure.
Tickle on the Shaika there.
Liberation is going to hurt.
Oh, yes. That's a juicy +9 here for Jinlun.
Oh, wow, he's just going face? Oh, no! That's the worst overdraw on the deck.
That really hurt.
Yeah, that's literally the worst. Now that Jinlun has this much HP and he's this guarded up, you were absolutely needing Urod to have any hope of winning this game.
Do you just drop double 45mm here and hope for the best? Or
I mean, yeah, at this point, there's going to have to be a lot of hoping for the best. I think Berto is very much aware that there are Scorched Earth in Jinlun's deck. And at this point, if he gets Scorched Earth, I mean, just say goodbye. But you have to just pretend, you just have to pretend that maybe he just doesn't have it. And he does not have it. You have to remove the top card of your deck, I think, at this point. Nah, I don't know. He does have the engineers out, so he can heal. But there's no guarantee that those engineers are too much longer.
Tickle is...
Tickle is fine to lose.
Would have been a good way to finish off that Brillance Irregulars without
it would
losing
have
one
been.
of your units.
It would have been, but at least it's not one of your buffs.
Yeah, exactly. Could have been worse. Could have been better. So it wasn't okay. This card there. Oh, what can Jinlun do here? He can deploy more guards.
I think you want to get rid of Bryansk this turn by trading it into the Greyhound. Small misplay probably by Berto to let 1/3/1 die 1/2, and then just Armored Train and hit Katusha with your Troika.
It's also comfortably sitting at 32 health here, so I think that
and soon to be more.
Yeah, call
and
to
I think
colonies.
he's going with exactly the play. Let's look. Okay,
It keeps spawning
is
there.
that intentional? Yeah, I was gonna say. Let's see where it spawns. Is that really how it's been ever since the change where it spawns? I mean, I've played this card kind of a lot, the Armored Train.
Yeah,
Is it really always? I don't.
It
think
feels
that's
like the
right.
first time I see it today that this is happening, but
I don't think that's right. I mean, I know for a fact it didn't used to be that way. Like I said, I know there was that change where they made it so you can play it on either side of the HQ, but whatever.
I mean,
Who knows? We'll have to
I
ask.
like that behavior. It makes sense, but it just feels uncommon to me.
Which behavior makes sense? The one where it's the one we're seeing right now?
Yeah, I like that one.
I feel like it makes more sense to come directly out of the train, though. You know, like right next to it.
Yeah.
I think that makes more sense to me.
If you see it from that standpoint, on sure. Like logic-wise, it makes sense that the infantry is coming out of that and pushing that one away.
Okay.
Okay, let's say like that. I like that behavior more. I like it more, and
yeah, it's definitely better. Like it makes the card better.
It makes the card
makes
way
the card
better,
a lot better, actually, to guard things like your fighters and your bombers.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and there it is.
Scorched.
You just mentioned it earlier, and there's the Scorched Earth.
Oh no, and he's even gonna hit face. That's how much he doesn't care about these units anymore. Now that they cost 4, he only attacked with 2 units.
That is brutal to watch. And sitting at 40 HP, I mean, what can Berto do here?
It's starting to get in concede territory. You just don't have cards that can win almost at this point. But, you know, don't concede yet. Jinlun's got a small hand. You never know. And could have some really low value cards that you just can't play yet.
So Berto reaching the point where he has a full board here. Only one more unit can be deployed next turn.
I think we're running into more phony war. Like, it's fine. Like, Jinlun's still doing completely fine, but he definitely can't play phony war. Like, that card's useless right now. The ISU is useless right now. I'd be hurting him way more than helping him.
Yeah, so, let's see. Call to colonies used for
Berto
drawing.
Has some time. He has some. Oh, what?
Oh, what?
I think he's high enough on HP to do that.
Yeah. I mean, is he preparing a phony war here?
I think so, but I don't want to do that, right? Like, why would I want to give Berto? I know that's one of the weaknesses of Berto's deck is he's low draw.
He might still be afraid of a really strong combo here from Berto, where he's just playing Hoorah, Patriotic that way.
They're scorched up. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, I would have preferred drawing there. Because at this point, it doesn't really matter too much if you're at 42 or at 50, especially when you have units on board that might die before the engineer battalion dies. So you might heal back up even more anyways.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. HP is, key in this matchup. If you can get enough HP, as long as you don't have a completely dead hand, you'll be fine. But my concern is by doing that, he has to play Phony War soonish. And if he has to play Phony War, he's effectively decreasing his HP, right? Because he's going to give Berto so many cards. But maybe he is just happy playing the Tractor Factories next turn.
Sure, it would be a strong play. Unfortunately, only able to attack with one of the tanks.
Right, and then the 2 AT guns on field. Yeah, I would not be happy to playing that this turn.
They would just shred those away, so almost feel like...
I don't even want to play them with the ISU, because although it's going to kill, not very useful units, and you're going to lose your engineers.
Yeah, right? You want to have them as long on the board as possible.
Really playing Phony War here. This is why we really wanted to see the draw of the colonies.
Do you do double Bryansk Phony War? Do we see that from Jinlun?
I guess it's just time if he's gonna play like this. I guess it's just time. Luckily, you scorched them up earlier. So I'm not super duper afraid of losing a ton of HP.
So this will also draw Berto 4 cards here. But yeah, his hand is full with units that have 4 operation cost. Oh, playing the tractor factories here.
That has to be bad. Wait, what?
Not able to attack with one of them. With 2 anti-tank guns sitting in Berto's backline there.
He could clear them both before they even get to attack, even.
Yeah.
He might do that.
That was a strange play. So, Berto having that Zhukov in hand, what can he find out of that? Is he playing
He
Naval
has
Brigade?
another
No?
Bryansk. I think that's all he has left.
Ooh,
So not good.
Naval Brigade, okay. Oh, there's the Patriotic Firestorm.
Yeah, I think he's gonna clear the tanks. Yeah, and it is indeed the last Bryansk. These are some. I think these are pretty objective misplays, or subjective. Excuse me. These are some pretty subjective misplays from Jinlun.
Yeah, that play looked really strange, sacrificing both of the T-34s into those artilleries.
Why would you give up such big units for free? Again, it's honestly probably still doesn't matter. He's just that fed, but it doesn't bode well when you're making these objective misplays.
Oh, there's
Going
the
into the
winter
next-
offensive.
Yeah, that's gonna kind of seal it.
62 health. Oh, how frustrated are you here if you're Berto? I mean, he's probably
That's
still.
what I said. You were like, "Oh, his hand is like that." I was like, "Nope. All you need is engineers. Trust me. That's all you need in this matchup."
And those 4 operation costs really
Can't
hurting
even kill.
Berto here.
Can't even kill Yak. Actually, no, he can't. Yeah, he actually can't because there's not even enough room in the front line. So he might take another 4. Then he's gonna take another 4. Well, I guess he's gonna get a lot of healing because the winter offensive will kill all those units. So, but still, it just feels really bad to not even be able to kill the Yak.
So do you play winter offensive here if you're Jinlun? Killing your own engineer battalion? I mean,
I guess not yet. I guess
Not yet,
'Cause
right?
everything is
Yeah.
4 unit or 4 costs, right? So we can kind of like let those hang around for a bit. Okay, he's gonna kill it like that. Now maybe you play. No, yeah, you definitely play it now. Now it's too good. Look at this. Literally max units. How often do you see this in a game of competitive cards?
oh god, and he's even able to kill all of them. So if Berto would have decided to buff the Red Devils, they would have survived at least. But now everything would die to the winter offensive. But on the other hand, Jinlun is also losing its engineer battalion. But sitting there at 66
Okay.
health.
I mean, I understand not playing it, but these AT guns are just causing you so much pain. Not so much. Obviously, we're at 66 health, but like, Berto's getting a lot of value from these AT guns. He's just killing card after card after card. You can't never play it. You have to play it at some point.
Oh, that was a good find here. 10th Engineer Battalion.
Definitely. That is the last one, so you have to be sure to get a lot of value out of this.
It's for operation cost. It's so painful. Can only operate 3 units. And if you want to deploy something additionally, it's only 2 units that you can operate with.
What if we made Scorched Earth 5 op cost, but it went down by 1 every turn? It's like the trees are regrowing. You know, the earth is recovering.
Oh, that sounds like a nice
give
idea.
me that, so we don't have to have this.
Yeah, this is really like this is not even a fair match right now. Berto has to spend so much in operating those units. At least
It's
he's
so
able to buff them,
slow.
so he can just
This is such slow games.
get some attack out of them, but that slows down so much. Holy.
If you're Berto here, don't play the Petalyakov because Winter Offensive, but I don't even know if Jinlun will play it at this point. He's being so patient. Okay, now you play it, right?
Now you have to, right?
You have to play it. Please play it. It's not even that it's objectively right or wrong to play it here. It's just I don't want to sit here for 30 more minutes while they just pass, you know? So they're basically just passing.
So if you're Berto, you're also kind of happy with this, because this offers you just the chance to deliver new units that have significantly
23
less.
Even, man, Engineers is a crazy card, huh?
That was a lot of healing here for Berto, yeah.
Engineers is so crazy. Why would he do that? To get this in the front line? Okay, actually, that's fine. I suppose that's fine. Especially since Berto's lost or been through a couple sickles. So yeah, that's probably right, I suppose.
I can't believe we're still in match number 1. This
Yeah.
match alone was almost as long as the other matches in total.
I might have actually conceded if I were Berto earlier, but I mean, how many cards are in Berto's deck? Like, how is he gonna?
It has to be 7, 6, 8, something like that. Doesn't
You
look
have
like-
he has one Ura left because he discarded one earlier. I just
Yeah.
don't know if it's physically possible. It does not feel physically possible.
Oh, that's really painful to watch. Poor Berto here.
I mean, it's a really minor gripe, but I actually think that was pretty bad use of the what is the mind control guy? 37? 34? What's the number? What's mind control guy's number?
That's a good question. 59th? I don't know.
Really? It's
I'm
still
not
pretty
sure.
new. I'm actually.
Wait, let me check.
Yeah.
It is
I feel like it's in the 30s.
39th. Yeah, 39th.
Okay, good, cool. All right, yeah, 39. I feel like that's a pretty big misuse. Again, it really does not matter.
What would have been a better
So,
use in your opinion?
just any arty that could kill another arty, or the engineer, or you know. So, because he took an arty and he didn't even kill anything with it. So I would have just rather see him develop another unit. Because now he doesn't immediately have a way to deal with the engineer. Again, I can't stress that it literally doesn't matter. Not to mention the 2 we can do it's. Like, he could have sold a we can do it buffed unit. Now he can't. So that was pretty bad, in my opinion.
We can do it as a lot of value here, unfortunately.
It is, which is why I'd much rather steal something buffed by that.
And now the mobilize is kicking in here.
Actually.
Hammer is a good find here.
Oh, do not attack into that AT gun. I saw him. I think we've all done that maybe once before. I saw him mouse over it.
Taking care of the tense engineers so that Katyusha has only 1 attack now. Pushing up a big 6/6 that is now guarded by the Rima. Okay, I think at this point...
Please give up. No, maybe this is part of his strategy. He's going to wear Jinlun down.
Greyhound, we can do it. 60 health. I mean, even if
You can draw
Jinlun would use his whole
any.
board here, I don't see how Berto would ever deal 60 damage before he runs out of cards. There is a Ra.
Playing it, which...
Just to get rid of the...
Cool, but like, how are you ever winning? What's your opinion, Spooz? Do you think mentally, do you think it's better to play a game that you cannot win?
I don't know.
To like...
I mean, as long as you see the chance to win, you have to stick into it. But I think Berto is down to...
Even if it's 99%, even if you have 1%, I'll stay in there 1,000%. But I think Berto's good enough at this game to know that he has a 0% chance of winning. So do you think it's better to keep playing, see if annoy your opponent, or is it just wasting your own mental energy?
I mean, you learn something from any battle, right? And yeah, this phony war is just the most disrespectful way of winning here now. Holy crap. That was, yeah. I
Okay.
don't see a way how Berto could ever win this from a specific turn on. Yeah, maybe at some point it would have just been better to.
He needed, if he was ever going to do this, he needed artillery units early, but maybe weirdly enough, keeping Red Devils was a mistake. By the way, that alone is a very interesting inclusion, right? We've never seen that in artillery before. I think it's a cool idea because it can protect the front line against 35T in those aggressive matchups, but against everything else, this, as we just saw, it's not good actually.
Yeah, we
We'd
might
rather have another buff.
see it being of better use in this matchup now, where Jinlun is playing
We
US
definitely
front
will.
line.
Going first, we're going to see insane usage out of this. To the point that I think Berto is unbelievably likely to win this because you're going first with a Red Devils into front line. This was already a good matchup for artillery. Back in the day, this was a very good matchup.
Also, 2 Katyushas in hand against those slow infantries on Jinlun's end here. Needs to go to the front line just to secure that spot, keeping Jinlun away from there. And then on from turn 3 on, you could just, yeah, gun everything down with the caddies.
Caddy until the stars and stripes or the strap bombing comes out. That's just how you win.
Exactly. And Jinlun only US cards in his hand. That's really.
That's going to be our next skirmish, I bet. The Mono Nation. Jinlun just preparing ahead of time.
Not fighting a single German card. I mean, it's not having. How much is he even having?
This just feels so bad when you're in this position as US. You don't want to attack into this Red Devils, but it might be the right play.
Yeah, even if he wants to, he could not clear it right now because of the +1 operation cost. Would cost him 4, and then there's just 2 Katyushas waiting in Berto's
Yeah,
support.
he's gonna play the next one. Yeah, the next one's gonna come out. Both the 30 seconds will get cleared. And then Jinlun is going to maybe play a 5th Ranger, but you can't even attack with it. What do you even do? Just play Sherman? Do you clear with Greyhound? Everything bad. Everything is bad. Everything is bad.
I think he's going for the Greyhound, yeah. Just to get that stuff out of the front line. Move your Greyhound there, so the opponent needs to take care of it. Which he definitely will. Unfortunate with the 50-50 here.
Here we see the, in my opinion, the point of the Bryansk. Now, even if there were 35T or a Hellcat, which there is, you can't even clear the Katyusha.
And Jinlun not having the stars and stripes here.
Yeah, that would be pretty fantastic, but not having it here.
So we might.
He could come back. He definitely could have came back if he had stars and stripes right now. It's of course it's still possible, but you do need to draw those at some point. You do need your strap bomb and your stars.
I think there are no other options than bringing 5th Rangers to the front line here.
Yeah, it also feels bad, but
yeah.
I think you have to do it. Now, if you're Berto here, in theory, you have a 75% chance of double procking on Katyushas. So do you attack with the Katyusha and hope you can Bloody Sickle, or do we not play around and we just go patriotic first one?
Knowing my luck, I would go for the patriotic here. But I'm not sure how confident Berto is.
Oh, he's doing it. I mean, this is statistically probably...
Yeah, statistically it might be the better play to hold back.
Oh,
look,
no!
I
hate
25%
that.
chance.
Oh, no. He doesn't even have to play the Sickle.
Double charm here from the Katyusha, and now with the Greyhound in the front line, they have 2 attack, which makes it even more problematic for Jinlun now. And that Bryansk is really the MVP so far here. Protecting the Greyhound, protecting the Katyushas. Jinlun forced to play a plain Sherman here.
And the plane 99th.
And the 99s without the deployment effect. Ooh, this looks really like a comfortable situation for Berto.
Yeah.
At least as long as Jinlun is not finding the Stars and Stripes, which he's only having one copy of in the deck.
Yeah, just keep clearing if you're Berto so that we can do it. Doesn't
Oh,
we can do it.
another-
Could be annoying, but even then, meh. So just minimize the impact of that by continuing to clear until you're ready for lethal. Jinlun is not getting what he needs.
Jinlun desperately waiting for the Stars and Stripes here, while Berto keeps developing its board. Probably going to see the first rifles being pushed up next turn. Additionally, which makes it even worse for Jinlun to ever come back here.
We might see it half tracked. Yeah, we are seeing it half tracked.
Okay.
Oh
at
wait,
least
no. He went for the Brienne. Okay. I mean, this is a pick your poison type of moment, right?
Yeah.
We use it to kill the Greyhound, but now because of we have the first rifles up there and it cannot be bounced
You
yet.
just found another Greyhound. You don't want to see that if you're Jinlun here. It's just the same situation that you just get. Oh my god. Okay, that's also very good.
Can't really do anything with it though on this turn. But yeah, this is the best thing you can hope for. So we'll take that for sure.
Juko.
Oh no, Berto has no infantry left in his. Okay, there's an avenue. Jinlun. Okay.
Did he not know? Or why would you? I mean,
well, just to get rid of it, right? It doesn't do anything. Actually, wait. Does he have enough credits? Yeah, he has enough credits to attack with everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it just. I mean,
also,
I
just
guess
to make sure, maybe you missed something. And then
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. Although, okay. Still can't get the front line back though, so like, still really hard. But we can play some units and we can do that. We can do it.
Here comes the we can do it.
Do you hear my cat?
No.
Good. Okay. I mean, Berto's drawing pretty badly now.
I mean, that Ura
it's gonna take forever to clear this front line. It's gonna take. Yeah, Ura is insane, but like at least this turn it's not a unit. But yeah, whatever. Clearing this front line is gonna take 10 years. This is over.
Yeah, this
Ura's gonna.
Ura's was a very good find here, not for this turn, but for the setup for next turn. I think at least 2 of those Soviet units will stick in that front line. Even though they have 0 attack now, they might just turn into monsters next turn with the Ura, and that should... Is it lethal? It's +3, it's
not,
6, 7,
not
8. Not yet. But the anti-aircraft gun with Patriotic might close it out later. Or do you just trade here if you're Berto, or do you go for the Ura already? Or do you want to play the Ura later on the anti-aircraft gun? That's
it's a pretty tough question, because we might lose some Bryansks, right? But I think we still hold it. Yeah, he's holding.
Getting rid of the 22nd with the Red Devils, and yeah, that's just not enough attack on Jinlun's units here.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do. This is over. No way to draw for anything. I wonder if this was Berto's strategy, was to target frontline. I would think not. Then probably you wouldn't bring Brit Air. Or wait, was Berto bringing Brit Air, or was Jinlun the?
Berto did also bring Brit
Air. The discard or the? Oh, okay.
Jinlun did not bring Brit Air.
Yeah, Jinlun was a discard. Okay, so then yeah, I stick by what I was saying. Probably not. If
this is
he brought Brit Air.
Wait. 2 off.
Yeah, this is 2 off.
But Hedliakov additionally on board.
Nope.
That's
that is not good enough.
Yeah. And that means we have a 1-1 score in the 4th quarterfinal here. Both players fighting hard for the last remaining spot in the semis. And we're going to see in just a few minutes, hopefully. I mean, Brit Air usually should not take that long as at
Brit
first
Air going
Manchester.
first with Swordfish. Perfect. I mean, this is like the perfect hand, actually. Just about. The only other thing you could ask for would be one more 1-drop.
And yeah, but Jinlun also not too bad of a starting hand here.
Oh, not
with
at all.
32nd and 35T in hand.
35T plus 99th, important.
Yeah. So you have ways to kill the swordfish in a way. Oh, and double close air support here for Berto.
Yeah, that would put this to 5 health, Swordfish. Do you think he wants to... Oh, no!
Oh!
Oh, no, for Jinlun.
Holy, that was a really good find here.
Perfect find.
Now there comes the first close air support I expect. Nice. Holding it back, okay. Oh yeah, maybe he plays it after he attacked? Yeah, he plays it after he attacked.
Yeah. I mean, you can never say no to a 3-unit at this point. Okay, I was wondering if you would do this. Very interesting and good choice here, because what can he really get punished by this turn? Nothing can do 4 damage this turn to this bomber.
Yeah.
And if he does move up the TK, that 32nd would just trade into it. But now, if the 32nd moves up, then it can just get killed by the swordfish.
Yeah, good point. So holding that 2 attack back there so he can take it out on later turns.
Also, so he can buff it again, because he just so happens to have the perfect hand.
Ah, yeah, exactly. That's also a valid point. There comes 35T, shipping down on that bomber, and the third close air support. Are you kidding me?
He's gonna need these half tracks. He's gonna need these half tracks soon. This game actually could just end soon. I think you just play both. Yeah, you could get half tracked, but so what? It's just one half track, and that's most of his turn.
Also pushing both to the front line.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Wow, he top decks the half track, and now does that
That hurts if you're Berto here.
what I should say is that him moving up it was perfect, because it doesn't get punished by the half track on that anyway. He still loses the sword. Great, but you know, whenever you can occupy the front line against front line, that's a good thing.
And that brings Jinlun down to 8.
Oh god, going second feels so bad against the swordfish. I think this is just over, actually.
How's he dealing with that 4-6 gladiator there?
He is. I don't think he is.
Even if he finds half track now, he cannot bounce it back.
I think we play Skytrain and hope he attacks the Skytrain. Makes sense to me.
I mean, that at least stops the swordfish.
Oh my
the
god.
4's close air support.
Yeah, how do you draw 4? This is unbelievable.
And not just that, also found almost all of your 1-drops.
Right, sometimes you do get all these orders. Okay, Berto is attacking phase, which is totally the right decision.
Yeah, like look at the support from Jinlun. He cannot buff the attack of those, so he has to attack with all of them, and that even brings him down to 1 health.
It's only 5 damage on the...
Yeah.
So this is over.
I mean, with the 35T...
Well, I mean, he's got another turn. Because the 35T can let you kill it. But, like, I don't see how you come back.
Why did he attack with this first? No, he don't get
What? Oh, no. Wait, does this matter?
He don't get the operation cost debuff.
I mean, he can still clear it, because he has enough credits. But does this... Okay, no, it doesn't matter. If he had 1 more credit...
Doesn't matter. Yeah, 1 more credit. Nothing to spend it on.
There was nothing going to be alive anyway.
That was a little
it did matter. It did matter, because he could do 1 damage to the fish.
Ah, yeah, he could have attacked the Type 94.
Yeah, either that or do a damage to swordfish, something. He could have done something. So that is a game-ending misplay, actually. Yeah, that was a game-ending misplay.
Was it? I mean, otherwise, Berto could have killed the Skytrain, right?
You could have killed the Skytrain and then attack with Swordfish and Gladiator. So it did not.
No, because they wouldn't have enough damage because the TK got buffed to the 2, which was lethal.
On the
I'm
Gladiator
not
also.
saying he would have. We haven't rewinded, but there's a we can do it. So I'm not
But
saying.
yeah, Berto in the semis. So this is our final semi-finals pairings here. We have Leo versus Known 5, PyTorch, which got a bye on his first quarterfinal here. We'll take on Berto now, who just turned the match around against Jinlun. And really looking forward to the semi-finals, which will not be casted by us, but by some other nice casters. So yeah, it was a pleasure, Vinny, having you here. I hope you guys enjoyed the matches. We did for sure. And yeah, we hopefully see each other in the next one. Stay healthy and bye-bye.